I'm George Moore, for those of you that don't know me, and I've never stood up and given any type of testimonial before, but I was called to do this last Tuesday. For those of you that were at church last Sunday, I played a song, a Hank Williams song, and it's called "Are You Walking and Talking for the Lord?" And one of the lines in there says, if your heart says testify, would the world hear your reply? And my answer is yes. I have 3 children, Maggie, GW, and Jude. And before Jude was born, I thought I'd figured out why God gave us our first 2 kids. Maggie was to teach me patience because she has my same personality. And so sometimes she's fun to deal with. And there they are waving at me in the back. And there's GW. And GW's always so happy. And I thought, he is to teach me joy. And then we had Jude. And I wondered, why did God give us Jude? And due to a diagnosis that we found out last December, he has tumors on his optic nerves. And at that point, the first thing I thought was that, the first thing I thought was, praise the Lord, he's going to get us through this. And they had said back at that time that the only thing they could do if they would grow would be chemotherapy. And they said that could be years and years and years down the line. But a couple weeks ago, they said, his tumor on his right eye there is growing a lot faster than we thought it would. So we want to start doing that and very quickly here. And so he had a chemo port installed last Tuesday down at Dayton Children's. And it took longer to get back in surgery than we thought, and it was taking longer than we thought. And so I went down for a cup of coffee because I knew I'd have to drive back at a pretty late hour. So I went down, grabbed this cup of coffee, and I saw the chapel there. And I was called to go in, small chapel about half the size of this stage up here, 4 chairs, an altar, and the Bible. And I went up to the altar there. I took the copy of Sports Illustrated that somebody put up there, took it off, and I knelt down at the altar and I said, "Dear God, I'm so worried about Jude. Please talk to me. Please give me a sign." And so I grabbed the Bible and I set it right in front of me, and I turned the page, and I turned it to Isaiah 38:9, and it starts out. It says, "The writing of Hezekiah, king of Judah, after his illness and recovery." And I thought, whoa. I don't think that's a coincidence. Now, God wrote this story in the Bible here as the perfect, complete story that it is. But within that story, he wrote a story for me to read that very day and answered his prayer. And the story that came out to me was, I said, in the prime of my life, must I go through the gates of death and be robbed for the rest of my years? My eyes grew weak as I looked to the heavens. I said, Lord, come to my aid. But what can I say? The Lord has spoken to me, and he himself has done this. He has restored me to health and let me live. Surely it was for my benefit that I suffered such anguish. For the grave cannot praise you. Death cannot sing your praise. The living praise you as I am doing today. Parents, tell your children about your faithfulness. Remember, I think Jude is here to remind us of our faith. And the part that really hit home for me, as I just played up here on this stage the Sunday before, playing a guitar, a stringed instrument, it ends up saying, "And the Lord will save me, and we will sing with stringed instruments all the days of our lives in the temple of the Lord." And I read that, and I read it 3 more times, and I started crying, and I went back to Jude's room, and they had just wheeled him back in from surgery, and I walked in there, and Lindsay looks at me, and the nurse looks at me, and I said, "I'm not crazy, but God just spoke to me." And he did. And so, I would just like to leave you with, if you seek God, he will answer you. God is there for all of us. You have to seek him. Seek him through prayer. God bless you all. Thank you.